Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining me. In this video, we'll be around behind the house installing fascia and soffit boards as well as gutters. Here's a close-up of the situation. You can see that the rafter tails have a plumb cut, and then this is the cut for the soffit board. The other issue that I'm dealing with is the sheathing right here at the end is rotten because of some less than adequate shingling that's going on here. So I need to make that repair as well while I'm at it. So that'll involve pulling off the sheathing boards, replacing it, and then fixing the shingles. Here's what it looks like. So it's just a piece to kind of finish that off. I just trimmed this, I don't know what you call this, a rake trim board or something, I don't know. But just planed down some poplar to the same thickness and then glued this on, got up here and just marked lines, cut things, got down, drew in the circle and popped it up. So it gives it a much more finished look and closes off the gaps and messiness that was there. So that wraps up the fascia and soffit on this side. Also put the new sheathing up there. Off camera, I'm gonna finish up the shingles. I'm gonna duplicate the same work over here, and then we'll move on to the gutters. If you're enjoying this video and would like to support the channel, consider doing so using my Patreon page. The link is in the description below. Back to the project. That wraps things up. All done. Not with everything, but with fascias, soffits, and gutters. Over here, I had to redo, cut the bottoms of the rafter tails for the soffit. None of that was level, uneven, and then a couple of the plumb cuts were not flush with each other. So that was some work over here you didn't get to see. And then any other tricky stuff? There was all the shingling that happened up here, kind of tying that back into the existing shingles, added a little bit more overhang. I did 1.5 inches is what I did. So the edge of the shingle sticks out 1.5 inches from the fascia board. And then I added the leaf guard little things over, just little 3-foot sections of that. And we'll see, because over top the house, there's walnut and pecan trees. So you're getting all kinds of stuff. You're getting the leaves, branches, sticks, and then all the nuts. Because squirrels get up in those branches and they just chew on all that stuff. There's little small pieces falling on the roof all the time. So I hope they work pretty good and those don't get clogged up themselves. But there's never been any gutters on here since I owned the house. So this is better than nothing. I just didn't want them to have no guards on them at all, and then the gutters would just get clogged up instantly. So I think it was a right move to do what I did. I have not tied the gutters to the foundation yet because I'm going to be painting the foundation, and I want to be able to work behind it and not have anything in my way, even if I might end up taking this downspout off to do the painting. How I'm going to actually attach the downspout here is This is a 2-inch gap here. I'm going to cut a 2-inch block here out of pressure treated wood, mount that to the wall, then use the same little gutter strap you see right there. And they had the, I don't know if you actually call that a gutter strap. It's like a mounting bracket. The strap is the one that you kind of bend and wrap around. And I think they look really silly. This is a much cleaner look. The reason these black things are here is because, for example, the gutters on the front of the house go into black pipes and then dump out below the house. One of them goes all the way down over here. One of them just goes out onto the bank to my left. So these are going to go straight down into the ground. Then there'll be that black corrugated pipe. It'll come out somewhere over in here. So no issues. Don't have to use those elbows. Straight into the ground, much cleaner. And the other thing I'm going to do is, there's been a lot of erosion that has occurred right here from not having the gutter. So I'm going to get some dirt and backfill this up to probably, I'd like to come up to, you know, somewhere around in there, and then make this much cleaner and nicer to get around. All this obviously has to be cleaned up. What I would love to do is bring my tractor. I'm about 45 minutes away from my house when I'm here. And so I would love to get my tractor brought up here. I don't have a way to move it myself, but I would love to bring it up here and just drag this whole bank clean. And if I had my total wish, I would bring in some dirt and just pile dirt up and just kind of build this up a little bit more. I don't want to get into a whole retaining wall, but I would like to build this up some more. If I had my tractor here, I could dig in and just push dirt up and kind of build it up. And then around that other side, I would like a better walkway just to kind of come around, go up the steps, and walk around to the basement door. Let's see, what else do we have to say? I bought the gutters at Home Depot. The reason I did that versus Lowe's, I have a Lowe's credit card that gets me 5% off, and I just buy the stuff and pay it off, and I get my 5% off. But went to Home Depot because this was 12 feet, and you can only get 10-foot sections of gutter stock at Lowe's, and you can get 16-foot sections of gutter at Home Depot. So I bought that 16-foot section, which meant I, get a seamless gutter right here. The other thing that I did is not using outlet boxes. So there's like this piece you can buy that's about from here to the end, and then you use this little seam wrap thing and seam sealer, and you just rig the whole thing up. Versus in this one, hole saw, 2 3/8 inch saw, I drop in a little round outlet and then the end cap. And I use screws, little soffit screws, white painted screws, instead of rivets, because you can take it apart easily if you need to do something. But yeah, I got those little round outlets at a roofing, siding, gutter supply house. So not available at Lowe's. The ones at Lowe's are rectangular. And I wanted to be able to knock them out with the hole saw. So if y'all aren't familiar, that's a hole saw. So it's basically a saw that drills or cuts a hole. It has 2 3/8. This is a Lennox arbor with a Milwaukee, I think he calls it a dozer. I know she's messy around behind my house, and on the sides and in the front and inside, but she's moving along. This is so much cleaner looking. I'm pleased with the progress that is occurring. This took me 3 days filming. I would have done it in 2 days not filming. I think that wraps it up for this video. Probably won't show any more guttering stuff, although I've got some stuff I need to do, like the foundation work, and I might include putting in those black pipes, digging those in, getting everything connected up, and mounting the downspouts in that future video. I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up there. I'm not going to do too much talking right now, but I'm sure I'll do a little bit. Speaking of talking, I'm going to start doing my common sense videos again. So the other channel where I just run my mouth. And part of that is because a lot of the things I talk about, I would talk about them a little bit longer if it was a dedicated thing. And it would be cool to kind of continue the themes of various things that I talk about towards the ends of these videos, because it does seem to get a pretty good reaction out of people in terms of them relating to what I'm saying, or being interested in maybe hearing more about some idea. So I'll be doing those videos again. And I almost started doing them last night, but I wasn't really clear on what I wanted to do. My biggest thing is I want to be kind of like responsible in how I go about it. I don't want to just say a bunch of stuff. There's a lot of people saying a bunch of stuff. At the same time, I really find a lot of at first I thought all these people having these podcasts was annoying and that it was silly. But then you start to see some of these smaller, unknown people start to interview some pretty decent people and then ask them non-traditional questions. And so I've seen some pretty big people, you can probably guess some of the ones I'm talking about, that are being interviewed like every day by different YouTube channels. And then people asking that person specific questions that no one's asking. Like a lot of people just ask the same question, why did you do this? Why did you say that? So I found that interesting, and I think that is coming from, this sounds silly for me to say it this way, but it's coming from so many voices that exist now. And then so people are having to ask something different, and they're not, some guy with a YouTube channel is not beholden to a larger media company to ask specific questions to either make someone look good or bad. They're just asking whatever questions they think they can get away with, basically. So I'm looking forward to doing that. So if y'all want to kind of propose specific topics, I mean, I don't want to go start talking about everything in the world. I mean, it's something that would pertain to things that I know about or experiences. I mean, to be clear, being a Christian is very influential to things that I do. So that will be part of it, whether I'm saying it or not. I'm obviously kind of a conservative guy without having specifically said it before. I'm sure that y'all can tell just from the things that I say, and the kind of way I live, that of what I let you see. And so all that is part of it. Obviously I have a family. I'm married with children. I have, a handful of houses, rental, self-employed, otherwise. YouTube channel. I live in the same area that I grew up in. I did go to college. I have a fine arts degree. And so I'm saying all this just sort of as a frame of reference to kind of where you know me better in terms of what I would even talk about. And then sometimes when you don't know anything about somebody, it can be helpful because you don't come into it with as many like preconceived notions. Like if somebody's been to school or not been to school, like some people think if somebody doesn't go to school, they're a dummy. And then other people will think that because someone's been to school, and I'm talking about college, university, that you're, think you're smarter than you are. A lot of people do. I take a dim view a lot of times on academics, not just universities, but sort of some of the mindsets that come out of universities, because I think that everything can end up being too academic, theoretical, all ideas and things not put into practice, especially people who've stayed in academics, that work at schools. Not all, but a lot of the ones I've experienced, because for a person who, say you're a tenured professor, and most likely you've been in school since you were in preschool or kindergarten all the way up through graduating high school into undergrad, then you go to grad school, maybe further, then you're some adjunct faculty, and then you end up a professor, and then you get tenure, and then you retire, and you probably sit on the board of the school. So basically, from 3 years old all the way up through death, you were in academics, and that is a different thing. So I don't know what that was about. That's an example of my rambles if you're new to these videos. So I think that's it. Check out the Patreon page if you have not already. It's $3, $5, $10, $20, various tiers of monthly contributions you can make to the channel. And it's up to y'all to decide why. Someone asked, why in the world would somebody do that for a channel that puts out as little videos as I do? I don't know. I'm not forcing anybody to do it. It's up to them if they want to do it. It's very helpful to me. Right now, I think the total of monthly contributions is about $150, so it's not like something I'm getting rich off of. But it takes the edge off of a lot of these like little small things you have to pay for, you know, phone bills, electric bills, things like that. And as that builds, think of your income that you have for your family or your situation and how much money you have to make. Everything I do when I make these videos makes it take about 2 or 3 times as long. And then other projects where you're filming in detail, it can be a lot more than that. So it slows me down. The other thing I'll say is a lot of the stuff that I'm doing, I'm trying to build wealth more than build an immediate income. Or I'm doing both. But my point being, like right now my income is lower because I'm like focusing on these renovations, and the renovation obviously doesn't make any money till it's rented. And then even when it's rented, it's adding an additional you know, $800 to $1,000 a month when you do this type of thing. But it's after you've spent a long time doing it and a lot of money on it. So it seems kind of abstract, you know, when you're thinking about it. And as long as I've been doing it, I don't really feel like I have actually made that much money on it. But it is a good thing. I know that, you know, when the month ends up rolling around and I get a direct deposit from a property manager for all the money that I have the rentals that they're handling, it just seems like magic, you know. So I'm like, I look at it and I go, oh yes, you know, that was, you know, glad that went ahead and happened. So my amount that I think that I can minimally, these are all topics for videos, but I think my family, I can get away with $3,000 a month and it not be that bad. Keep in mind, I have the additional expenses of insurance policies and water bills and electric bills on houses I don't even live in, annual, you know, real estate taxes, the time it takes to take care of places, cutting the grass, and the renovations. But really, just I really can't progress. About $5,000 to $6,000 a month is what I really need to be making to make any forward progress. So that's what I'm working on right now. This has nothing to do with Patreon anymore. But that's what I'm kind of working on now and trying to get this place finished up, is to build my income back up. I kind of let it slide for a while. Part of it is I started focusing more on my family, more on church, reading the Bible, thinking about what's important to me, and just wanting sort of some downtime, even if it's at the cost of a monthly income. Like some people are obsessed with money. And it's funny because a lot of people would probably think that I'm really financially minded in terms of that's my main focus, but it's so far from it. If I was, I'd probably have a job somewhere, and then on the weekends I'd do what I'm doing and probably still even do it faster than I'm doing it, not even having a job. But so like I said in the last video, and somebody commented on it, you know, my life is full of novelty and I can't help it. That's that creative side of me, and it's totally out of control. I cannot keep it in check. I just do it, and then I have moments of focus and discipline where for spells of time I'll work really hard on something and pull something off, whether it's renovating a house or buying some house or something like that. Otherwise, I'll have so much to do and I'll stop everything I'm doing and like make some birdhouses. So so that is a tricky part of being me. So I think that's about it. So thank you all for watching. Check the links below in the description, and I'll see you very soon again on this one. I'm hoping next week. I'm hoping to pump some videos out every week for at least a little bit to get this place moving along, get the YouTubes back going. Speakers powering off. All right, thanks for watching. See you next time.